last we saw you guys, you had used the power of the Id Ascendant to travel through not only temporal space, but temporal time, which doesn't make sense. I don't know why I said it that way. It's sort of silly thing to say. Through space, but also through time, as you managed to travel backwards to the point when the dragon had first arrived at Dougan's Hole. You know, not picking the time when the dragon had, just left or anything like that, but, and you weren't exactly precise in your landing because you didn't pass your checks perfectly, so, the timing wasn't super accurate. Just sort of jolted you where it jolted you. And there in Dougan's Hole, you met your fate, with a dragon made out of crystal. All of you landing in various locations, most of you where you intended, Cadillac Granite Guts upside down inside of a chimney, and Carcass on the back of the flying beast. Doing battle with the dragon, some of you got roasted. Characters lived. Markin died. And, the dragon, gravely injured and damaged, abandoned the continued fight for Dougan's Hole and flew offward towards the town of Good Mead, with Harkus clinging to its back, continuing to punch the dragon as it flew. Eventually, about a half mile down the road, being shaken off as he plummeted down into the snow, doing not insubstantial amounts of damage. That's where we find ourselves now. You guys are in...
Quick point of order. Didn't Zarya cast Spare the Dying on Markin? Did he actually die? Or
No, you did. You did cast Spare the Dying,
Okay.
so Markin is unconscious but stable. That's correct. Good point of order. Thank you. Because he was making death saves, and you did cast Spare the Dying, so thank you for the correction. Markin is alive. He may be an asset.
Yay.
That's where we find
Markin,
you guys.
Knight Assassin.
Yeah. Markin, who can only roll 20. Apparently. I've improperly programmed his dice. He only rolls 20s. And that's where we find you guys. I'm going to take you there now, standing in the burning husk of Dougan's Hole as the buildings are aflame. But the people are still mostly alive. Not everyone has been killed, and not everything is a total loss yet. In the burning portions of Dougan's Hole. You still have the air elemental. I think you get to keep that for quite a while. Like several hours, I think.
So Jeff, just for my own reference.
Yeah.
So I've fallen to the ground. I've wrapped myself in sort of all of these pelt. What are the chances that I can take a short rest while I wait for them to find me?
It depends on how long. I guess it depends on how long it takes them to find you. So yes, you can. The answer is yes. If you're just going to sit there for an hour and tend to your wounds and stuff, then absolutely you could do that.
Jeff, I think my air elemental is going to disappear. It only has a duration of an hour.
An hour? Okay. Well, alas. Let's see here. Hang on. I'm trying to get the soundscape set and ready. Wilderness Day. I think this is sort of bad Wilderness Day. Oh, no, we don't have Thunderstorm. Not that bad. It's nice Wilderness Day. That sounds more like it. Audio levels appropriate. Not too loud, not too quiet. You guys good?
I'm not sure I hear anything.
I hear nothing.
Yeah,
I don't hear music or background.
Okay, let me... Oh, there we go. Funny. All right, audio now. Anything?
Yep, a little bit. Static, sounds like.
Yeah, I hear effects.
It's wind.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
And hear
even-
wind.
And
And I hear
Ravens-
Markin tinking on a piano.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
Ting, 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 ting.
Yeah, so this is where you find yourselves, standing in the burning streets of Dougan's Hole. I don't know if I have a fire effect readied. Turn down the music. I don't think I have a fire effect immediately ready, but yeah. That's where you find yourselves now. What do you guys do? You saw Harkus in the distance take his little tumble.
I'm down to 1 hit point.
And the dragon has taken off towards Dougan's Hole. Or no, towards Goodmead.
So before I forget, in the middle of the battle, I heard the loud, booming voice of Sylvanus echoing through my head, saying, "Don't forget to tell the rest of your party that I grant them an aura of protection as well, which means a +1 bonus to all saving throws, as long as they're 10 feet away from you. And so I tell that to the rest, that message from God to the rest of the group. It is something that I had overlooked, and so Sylvanus has made sure that I make everyone aware.
Thank you, Sylvanus.
All right.
Thank
And
you,
Cadillac.
Sylvanus.
I found the buildings on fire sound effect.
Oh.
All right. So you guys are pretty beat up. Arcus is down the road. The dragon has flown off towards Goodmead. What's the party going to do?
I
So-
need to lick my wounds a little bit.
Let me see. Do I have hit die left?
You should. You took a long rest before you, or did you? Did you guys take a
I don't recall taking a long
We didn't.
rest.
It was a short rest.
Now you took a long rest before you made it to the Descendant. In the wilderness. Remember, you threw out your tower. That was the last time you took a long rest. Was in the tower before you got to the Descendant.
Oh yeah, I have used hit die. They're on my sheet. So I got 2 hit die left and 7 hit points. It doesn't look good for me.
Well,
all of my spell slots are exhausted, and I'm okay, but not perfect in terms of health.
We may have to just let Goodmead burn to the ground.
We may have to take a nap. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what I would hate to have, what would break my heart, is with the bare scraps remaining of endurance and willpower, we rush to fight the dragon and then trip over a bandit and die.
And
Yeah.
then all the 10 towns are gone.
yeah, very well may happen. I'll put it this way. It'd be a very anticlimactic way for us to get to start Spelljammer.
How was your party TPK? We had 3 hit points and ran into a Yeti.
We had 3 hit points.
An angry
Distance.
cat.
On the wind, you just hear Harkus going, "I think I'll go for a walk."
An angry rabbit.
Okay, so I'll just remind you of things that you know that you may have forgotten. You know that after Goodmead, the dragon's next stop would be Easthaven. So one strategy could be to take a rest and then try to beat it to Easthaven. If you're going to sacrifice Goodmead, would be see if you can get a quicker way to get to Easthaven and try to cut it off.
Mhm.
You know from Easthaven that it's going to go to Caer Denival, so I guess if you thought you couldn't get there in time, then you could try to go to Caer Denival or Caer Konig. But would be one potential strategy would be to try to rest and then head it off. But the next stop would be Easthaven after Goodmead. Now you have done substantial damage to it. You saw pieces of crystal and chunks of it falling off, so you don't know how close to destruction it is. It's definitely close enough that the AI or whatever is running it decided that it needed to evacuate you and move on, rather than continuing to try to eliminate you all.
Has
Well, if
Harkus
we
made
wanted
his
to
way
take-
back to us? Oh, I'm sorry.
But
No, Marcus is wrapped up in pelts, taking a short rest.
Harkus is tending to his wounds after he fell.
So he's
And
in the
then after-
countryside. He's not in this town.
No,
Yeah,
so
you saw him fall in the countryside. He's about a quarter mile away.
That's what I
So
thought.
we're assuming he's dead, and we're gonna get a new party member, hopefully.
Harkus's intention is to give you long enough to basically take a short rest. And if you're not there, he's going to start walking in the direction that he saw the dragon fly.
So if we want to take a short rest, I could potentially say a prayer and help us along that way.
So then a strategy would potentially be to go catch up to Harkus.
To go find Harkus and then take a
A long
rest
rest.
in our fort.
Or short rest. Use the hit die you have. Recover what resources you can with a short rest. And try to save the beer.
Oh,
The
I could
beer's
do a
very
prayer of
precious.
healing, so that
It
would help us with a
is.
short rest if not everybody has their hit die. So
yeah.
I mean, it's a potentially risky strategy.
No, we need long rest.
It's sort of this is sort of like, are you going to shoot for the green or are you going to lay it in the fairway? There's a water hazard right in the way, and are you going to take the safe layup or? I don't know.
I think we saw Harkus go down, and he's not that far away.
So everybody heading over to Harkus.
It's
I
probably
think-
worth getting him.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Before we go, I asked Markin if he would like to join us in our challenge to best this beast that destroyed his town or almost destroyed it. We would value his company.
I'm very almost dead.
Well, would you like to be very almost dead and get vengeance upon this beast, or be very almost dead in your burning town?
So you're trying to persuade Markin. Roll
I
persuasion.
think so, yeah.
Because right now Markin is not wanting to go anywhere. He is pretty beat down. Okay. Markin rolls a 14.
Oh, okay.
So this is what I'll give you. Because you're almost there, but you're not quite.
He
So
never
this-
wants to come with us.
He's from Dougan's Hole.
Even the hobbits left.
This is like, listen, he's from Walker County.
Hey now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Melissa made an excellent point, though. Even the hobbits left.
Markin says,
I don't like my
Markin says,
never leave.
somebody's got to stay here and put out the fires and help the peoples that is here at Dougan's Hole, and it's my
They're all
home.
dead.
I don't know. They're not all dead. Little Susie Bob and her brother cousin is right over there.
Markin,
And
you are a good man.
he
Let's
says,
have them throw snowballs at the burning houses.
he says, listen, I tell you what though, if you's all's wanting to go beat it down, I'll give you my herd of axe beaks to get you there. It's like riding a giant turkey. It'll get you where you want to go a lot faster.
Heck
But
yeah.
I love him. He's like a more redneck version of Bill Clinton.
but that's actually what I'm basing him off of.
Don't
Oh,
worry, Billy's gonna do just fine.
I'll give you my herd of axe beaks. There ain't no way to travel around these parts except riding on the back of a giant winter turkey.
Markin, we would be most obliged.
And he takes you over to his like partially burnt out farmhouse. And hang on, because I finally found where you're gonna be if you get to freaking. Just a moment. Psst, too many maps. Crap, where am I? Okay. Alright, I'm right next to the Happy Screw Machine. Okay. I gotta get back on the actual map that you were on. He leads you over to his burnt out farm territory. I guess you've woken him up somehow. We'll just say that you did. You poured water on him until he woke up. And he gives you several of these winterized axe beaks.
Ooh.
They look
like
winterized axe beaks.
Mm-hmm. They look like giant. They look like giant ostriches, except they're like winterized.
A huge sharp beaks.
Yeah. Tall, flightless bird with short legs and a heavy wedge-shaped beak, nasty disposition, tends to attack any unfamiliar creature that wanders too close. Let me give you a picture of it. This is what the winter snowy axe beak that Markin is giving you looks like.
Ooh.
I got a whole herd of these things. Watch out though, they'll sometimes peck at you. But they can cross the snow in lickety-split no time fast. If you're gonna chase down that there dragon and kill it for Dougan's hole, you can take them. They're yours. I paid good gold for them, but it's worth it for y'all to take out that beast.
Well,
That's what you get for missing the persuasion check by 1.
Well, that's not bad. Thank you, Markin.
He won't go with you, but he is giving you transportation.
Well, we'll take it.
Now we can afford to take that long rest.
I even got one for the dude that fell out the sky over there. All right.
All right.
So what y'all doing? Markin steadies his crossbow and says, Susie, get your granddad and uncle. Tell him to help us put these fires out.
All right. I'm taking my axe beak.
Okay. Roll me an animal handling check.
Oh.
All right. Animal handling.
Animal handling.
As I gently robot up to the axe beak and pat its head.
Are you like giving it any food or anything to woo it? It doesn't matter. With a 14, you woo that axe beak. You hop on it, bucks a little bit, and you
I'll
click your
behind
heels.
its ears.
You click your heels, and you're ready to ride. You look like you're on the planet Hoth, riding one of them things that smell worse on the smell bad. I thought they smelled worse on the outside.
Love it.
All right, we're all doing animal handling.
Everybody that's hopping on an axe beak, give me an animal handling check. You do it, Ordella.
Oh, good.
Leap on, click, click. Zarya, you do it.
Wow.
Granite goes click, click.
You like those tricks and stuff on it. Stand on it.
Wizard.
Apparently, I've made good friends with mine.
Yeah, look, Granite rides on 2 of them at the same time.
Yeah.
I fell off mine.
It said no.
The axebeak pecks at you. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Fucker.
Ah!
Ooh.
11. Does 11 hit you?
It does not.
Okay, make me another animal handling check.
And offer guidance.
Okay.
Jeez.
Roll your
You have a
d4. How are you
Just hold
guiding
it still
him?
for him.
Well, I think from the back of my axe beak, I'm like, no, you have to be gentle. You have to do this. And like, I start like caressing the side of my like neck, and it's like doing that kind of number as I'm doing
So
it.
roll a d4 and roll higher than a 1. Yeah, you manage it.
Okay.
You calm it
Okay.
down and you manage to claim an axebeak. You've wooed the axebeaks. And you all click off on your axebeaks, I guess, dragging one for Harkus towards wherever he landed.
Well, Cadillac Granite got his riding too, so we'll get Harkis's to him.
There you go. All right. Let me get your stuff here. 1 second. Apologies, too many things on the map. For some reason, Zarya wants to be behind my axebeak, which doesn't make any sense. But okay. All right, and Dean. That didn't work. Let's try that again. Come on. You can do it. This is what you get when you have too many maps for a game. Oh my god. There. Scene. As you all arrive at the area where Harkus is stationed, Granite Guts, you're striding across too. And here you be, in the middle of the woods between Dougan's Hole and Goodmead. Sort of a wooded path between these two cities. There's not much woods actually in the Icewind Dale. Most of it is sort of tundra and stuff, but there are woods here. And there's no more burning buildings here, so we'll kill that. The weather is not terrible. And you arrive at Harkus with your axebeaks. So what's the game plan?
Build a fortress, take a nap.
Okay.
Is at least my suggestion.
Yes.
That sounds great.
Yes.
Okay. So you are setting out the
Yes, my fortress.
okay. You throw out the cube
Mhm.
for the instant fortress, and you say the command word, which was
FNM. Means
Okay.
open.
and boop, out of it pops your ice fortress. And are you guys bringing the axebeaks in, or chaining them up outside and hoping that they're not eaten by a yeti, or what are you doing?
It's a
I'm
big
bringing
enough
mine in.
fortress. I mean, we can put them in their own room.
It's not a super big fortress, but it is a
Fortress.
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 You haven't even decorated it.
Not yet. I mean, we've been kind of preoccupied with
Decorating
dragons
it
and
right
stuff.
now with X-Peaks.
Yep.
Feather bed.
You drag everybody, including your axebeaks, into the instant fortress. And just getting in your beds, your fluffy straw beds, and turning in for a long rest.
Yes.
Is anybody doing any watch or anything like that?
I'll take a watch. I've gotten a short rest already.
It was just a group decision. If you're right now, I've got one person taking a watch. What hour are you going to watch in?
I guess I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I can help out with the watch too.
Okay.
I'll take the last watch.
Okay, we need one more.
And
I'll
I'll
take-
take the watch after the last watch. Or
Right.
before, however that works.
All right, Harkus. Okay. Passes without event. Zarya. Passes without event. Granite Guts. Passes without event. And Leonard's last, right?
Yes.
Leonard passes without event. All right. Your watches are eventless. The dice are kind. And the next morning arrives. It's cold, but it is not a terrible day. You can see in the distance black smoke rising from a few miles down the road from where Good Mead would be. I'll bring you to the map. You can decide what you're going to do. Big map. Okay? Since there haven't been any of the events here in the woods. You've got some speed transportation. You now are at the woods outside of Dougan's Hall. Somewhere like here. On this sort of wooded road. We'll zoom you in. Yeah, right there. And you've got Good Mead and you've got Easthaven further to the east. You can either try to bypass Good Mead and make for Easthaven to cut it off. You can go to Good Mead and see what's going on there. Or you could break north and try to go even further, like Caer Denival or Caer Konig, knowing the route that it's programmed to travel. What is the decision?
How far can we realistically get on the axe beaks, let's say, in half a day?
That's
Like,
a good
what is
question.
what are their miles per hour, as it were?
Let me look that up real quick.
I was gonna ask what their horsepower was, but
Uh,
it seemed insensitive to the axe beak.
Dog sleds move at 1 mile per hour. Axe beaks move
42 miles per hour.
All right. It depends on how hard you push them. Their maximum speed, their gallop speed is basically, okay, it's actually broken down here. And it depends on the terrain. On road, they can go 2 miles an hour. On tundra, they can go like 1.5 miles per hour. They can go for up to like a day, and if you push them really hard, they can, like, if you like breakneck speed, you could get up to like 4 miles an hour. I can tell you this: the distance between where you are now and Easthaven is about 10 miles. If you broke for Easthaven now, you could be at Easthaven in 5 hours. You'd be at Good Mead in. You'd be at Good Mead in hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe 2 hours on axe beak. What does Granite Guts think? And you don't know how long it would have been at Good Mead.
I think this is a gamble either way. So I will support the decision of my group.
Are we planning on cutting it off?
Yeah, I
Or-
mean, I was just suggesting. I am not trying to influence the party. I'm just sort of weighing out the options as I see them to help you in your decision making. You could either go to where it was last headed, Good Mead. You could try to get ahead of it by going to where it's going next, Easthaven. Or you could say, we really definitely want to get ahead of it and go even further to like Caer-Dineval. And that way, if you went to Caer-Dineval, you'd be fairly certain you're cutting it off.
By the time we get to Good Mead, it probably won't be there anymore.
Maybe. It's a gamble.
It seems like it's on the way. Worst case scenario, it's not there and we continue on the road and we don't stop.
True.
Mhm.
And the axe beaks go quicker on the road anyway, so we would lose some efficiency taking them over range.
I'd agree.
I vote for Good Mead.
Okay.
Cool.
You guys click your...
Fine. Fine.
Is there a dissenting opinion?
No, my only thought was to Easthaven, but I think, I mean, we got to go that way anyway.
It's really just a question of, do you cut across country to try to get there faster by cutting the distance down, or you take the
No.
road?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. So onwards to Goodmead via Axepeak.
The world's fate is in our hands, so I think roads are good.
Okay.
Good news is if we screw it up, there'll be no one left to blame us.
That's very true. That is great news.
True. Very, very true.
All right. Onward to Goodmead you go. You arrive after a couple of hours in the city of Goodmead. On arrival there, you find a grisly scene. Buildings are smoldering, mostly destroyed. There are few citizens remaining alive. You recognize Olivessa Untapur, who you convinced to become the speaker of Goodmead, down on the ground, not breathing, surrounded by blood. Her house that you stayed in overnight, destroyed, burnt entirely to the ground. The mead hall somehow is spared. You think to yourselves, perhaps Zardoc wanted the mead and programmed the dragon to spare the mead hall. But the remainder of the city, largely destroyed. On arrival, the dragon is nowhere to be found. Black smoke rises, the same black smoke you saw in the distance, rises from the destroyed city of Goodmead. Olivessa's on the ground. You don't see if she's breathing or not. But she doesn't seem to be moving.
I'm gonna axe beak over and hop off and check on her in the event that she is still alive.
Sure, roll me medicine.
Medicine. Where?
Mhm.
Medicine. There we go.
She's dead. Leonard, you turn back to the rest of the group in the party and tell them she's dead. You're sorry she's gone.
All right. I'm a robot artificer. What do I know about this?
Did you notice she was dead from about 5 feet away?
No, he felt for a pulse and he squeezed so hard that it wasn't palpable.
In like her forehead?
You notice that as he's feeling for a pulse, her arm starts to turn a little bit blue.
So what we're saying is she's dead now.
Leonard has gone up and examined her and has called back to you and said she's
Looks
dead.
dead to me.
I checked her knees for a pulse.
Hey, you guys don't get to know what his roles are necessarily.
Mhm.
True.
Totally
It's-
trust him.
Take his word
I
for
checked
it.
her out, and I think she's dead.
That's some good doctrine, robot.
Dr. Robot.
Dr. Robot.
You now have a new role.
Yep. The city is smoldering before you. Basically.
All right, anybody want to do some shopping while we're here? Or...
Have a beer.
That would
very-
be
Any magical items?
It's very depressing. I could use a drink.
Because I
The
mean,
meat-
the meat hall's good.
the meat hall is good, but you don't see any people around. So I guess you could
We
just
gotta
break
serve
in. And,
ourselves.
it's serve yourself right now.
Hey. I mean, consider like an energy drink, help us get to the next town. Warm us up a bit.
Put some pep in
I
our
would say
step.
at least go in there to see if there's anyone else in there.
Check for survivors in the mead. Or not.
One of the homes sort of explodes and falls apart.
I literally thought somebody dropped something. So
They did.
that's
It was.
very effective sound design.
It was a house.
They did. It was a house. Are you going into the meat hall?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the only structure still standing. Perhaps everyone took shelter inside.
Yeah.
Check
Yeah.
for survivors.
As you come into the meat hall, you do find about 40, 50 people in the meat hall. Goodmead was a town of about 200 or so maybe a quarter or less of the town's population has taken shelter in there and is alive. They're scared, shaking, and somewhat relieved when they see you enter and ask if the danger has passed. Is the dragon still there? Did you kill it? They have lots of questions. In fact, you're sort of, whoever's going in, you're sort of swarmed by town denizens. They recognize you all as the saviors of the Mead from earlier. Zarya, you're sort of in a unique position of, these people are clearly known to the citizens of this town as you sort of enter through the door. They know that you were the ones that rescued the Mead from the raiding Verbeegs. Not but a month or so ago. It's probably a month or so ago at this point when you had rescued them from the Verbeegs, maybe 2 months. But yeah, what do you do? How do you answer? What's your... There are some survivors, about 40, 50.
Do they look like, are they wounded? Can we help meaningfully? I guess is what Leonard is looking for.
There are a few wounded, some burns, some broken bones. There are a few that are more grievously wounded. Some of the 50 are injured. Like, how long are you going to spend being Dr. Robot?
I mean, really, we need to book it, but if there are people who would die if we did not intervene, I feel like it's a reasonable thing to do. So I'd like to at least spend...
Okay, how about this? Roll me a quick perception check as you are scanning to see, are there people that will die if we don't provide some form of aid here?
Dr. Robot is in triage mode.
Yeah, so
perception.
whoever else is in there that came in there can roll that. If you're doing the same. If you're doing the same thing as Leonard.
And that was perception?
Perception.
Yeah. Just as you're looking around. Okay.
Yeah.
Or then Cadillac and Leonard, that's enough to get it. There are at least 5 or 6 people in there that are pretty grievously injured. And if some sort of aid is not provided to them by someone that has some sort of know-how, then out of the 45 alive, you may wind up with 38.
Okay.
Some of them have burns, broken bones, and other various injuries that are more grievous.
Yeah, I'll do what I can that doesn't require a spell slot.
Yep, same.
So
Okay, so make me whoever is participating, make me a group medicine check. How many people are participating in this?
I'll participate.
1,
2.
Yeah, and Leonard
3.
will help.
Do I think that participating is going to get me to the metallic pelt? Anything?
No, in fact, it's slowing you down.
Yeah, so I'm out.
Albion.
All So we've got. Are you participating, Ordella?
Yes.
All
I
right.
don't
So
know why that rolled twice, so sorry.
I've got 5 participants. I need 3 successes. Okay, yeah, I've got 3 successes with Cadillac as a crit success. That counts for 2. Leonard as a success. Guitar as a success. In fact, that's 4 successes. So with 4
And Zarya,
successes,
I think, with a 13 as the first roll, if I succeeded on a 10.
You did.
So everybody but Ordella, who just stabbed somebody trying to patch him up.
Oops.
Yeah, Ordella, you just don't really
It's
help.
not my strong suit. It's thought that counts.
So this check was really about how long is it going to take you, not about can you do it, right? So like Ordella took longer.
Hours later, I'm still putting a Band-Aid on someone.
So like if everybody failed that check, it takes you a lot longer, and the dragon has more time to destroy Easthaven. Okay. It takes you about an hour, but you're able to patch up, and with 4 successes, you are able to save all like 6 or 7 of the people that otherwise would have died.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And now I guess we should ask them how long it's been since the dragon was here.
Good question. Yeah. They don't know. In fact, they ask you. The last they heard of the dragon roar was probably 2 hours ago, maybe an hour or 2 before you arrived. At most, an hour before you arrived.
Okay.
It caused terror all throughout the night, essentially, and in morning time, it seems to have done the destruction it's going to do after a day or a night of destruction, and has moved on. This is the unfortunate cost of a long rest.
Yeah, but no, I mean we knew to expect it. I guess I'm ready to hit the road whenever we're ready to hit the road.
Well, I guess the question is, we just spent more time here. Is it better to cut them off at Caer Dineval, or are we heading to Easthaven, or are we heading over land to Easthaven?
Roll insight. You don't know the answer to this, but everybody else can roll insight. Zarya, I guess you can roll it too. You're somewhat familiar with this. It's a good time for an insight check.
Ooh.
Ordella. And really,
Ooh.
Man, Yatara, damn.
Wow.
Okay.
We know things.
Yeah, you do.
With bilateral crits, Easthaven is a much more defended city. It's the 2nd largest city in the area outside of Bryn Shander. It has guards with arrows and bows and like soldiers that can come to the city's defense. So
Trebuchet?
You don't know if there's trebuchets or
I
not.
bet there's trebuchet.
But maybe me and Yatara do.
There might be trebuchets.
Leonigers.
So Easthaven, just in your mind, Easthaven is a stronger city than either of the 2 that have been here before. And you presume that a stronger city would be able to defend itself better. I.e., it would take longer for the dragon to do significant damage to it, and there's potentially more resources in a large city to aid in its destruction. You get that with crit successes there. So, I'll leave that information with you guys to decide what to do with it.
I mean, it's probably going to be tied up at Easthaven. If it was here overnight causing terror, if we leave from here to go to Easthaven, we will probably catch it. I think.
That seems likely.
I think so too.
Do we remain on the road, or do we try to cut across?
Isn't it a pretty straight shot from?
I'll bring you to the map. It is. There is a bit of a bend in the road that will take a little more time if you stay straight on road. There is a slightly higher chance of a random encounter if you go off road. It just depends
Just
on.
like 100% chance.
No, it depends on the dice. I have a roll for see how
I see.
you're good, Mead.
It
is it is faster to cut across country. It is safer to cut across road.
We'd be largely traveling by water, so we'd at least have a landmark. It would be harder to get lost in the wilderness.
You wouldn't get lost. You could just follow the red waters. The getting lost is unlikely. The main risk is like a random encounter in the wilderness. It's like Zelda. You're more likely to encounter like the random wandering monster in the wilderness than you are on the road.
Yeah, I'm cool with headed off-road. I'm cool with off-roading it.
What is
I'd be good with it.
I'm fine cutting the corner.
Right.
I do think that it might be good to stay on the road as long as we can to make sure these axe beaks move as quickly as possible. Then once we get to the bend, then cut the corner.
Okay.
So like stay on the road maybe till here.
Yeah.
And then cut across to here and pick up the road again.
Yeah, because they slow down a bit once they get into the wilderness.
That's a good thought. That sounds reasonable to Leonard.
All right. You guys head offwards towards the city of Easthaven. Takes about a day. After 4 or 5 hours, it is dusk, and a storm is starting to brew on the horizon. As you arrive in the city of Easthaven after about 4 hours of riding hard, the wind is kicking up, and you can see what looks like a blizzard approaching the city of Easthaven on your arrival. Hanging above the city, you see the glint of the metallic dragon, breathing fire and flames down upon the residents as arrows and other objects are flung at it in the distance. And I'll take you there now. I'm gonna get rid of the Poirot music. You arrive in the city of Easthaven. Some buildings are on fire. Not everything is on fire, but some are. And let me get you and your axe beaks here. One momento, please. Sort of didn't have any idea what the route you would take would be.
Neither did we.
You enter the streets of the city of Easthaven. Several buildings are aflame. Hovering above the city is the horrible sight. Pieces of it where it's clearly been damaged from your prior encounter, but present nonetheless. Currently a couple 100 feet up in the air is the giant crystalline dragon. There are several town guards and things like that rolling around. They mostly have bows and arrows and things. I'll show you. I'll throw some of them down. They're not going to get any initiatives unless you tell the guards to specifically do something. Like maybe you have the idea of get the trebuchets if you have them, or whatever. I don't know. Let me get some of them onto the battle. Hang on. You hear people running and screaming through the city streets as you see the Easthaven town guard. In fact, the captain of the guard that you recognize, a woman who had previously asked you for your aid in another situation, is standing at command, barking orders to the guards that are flinging arrows and other things at the thing. And
get off the streets! Ow!
Have we gotten the impression that this thing is intelligent?
it has some sort of intelligence. I will adjust the audio. I'm working on it. You hear people running and screaming.
Move to the left.
And the sounds of fire crashing down as people are basically fleeing. Somebody's casting a spell. And they're firing various arrows at it. Everybody roll me initiative.
I'm gonna click my Leonard.
Oh, it didn't work for Utara. Let me add you, Utara. Oh, shoot. The initiative tracker hadn't cleared. Crap. Alright, let me clear
Yes,
this.
the background audio is super loud now.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let me turn it down.
It's hard to tell when it's wind. Oh, that's good, I think.
I'm working on it. Ooh, we got Dragonfire. Let me find the dragon. I'm going to turn it down. It's loud as heck. There it is. There's so many audio selections. Okay. Apologies. Now, we can either re-roll the initiatives or I can put them in because it hadn't cleared appropriately.
I like my 19.
All right, I'll let you keep it. I'll put them in. It's going to take me just a second. Arcus, 19. Cadillac.
16.
Let me find you, Cadillac. There you are. 16. Zarya.
3.
3. Boy, it would help if I could run roll 20 better and be a better DM, wouldn't it?
Nah.
Ordella, 18. The dragon hasn't paid much notice to you yet as you've just arrived in town.
Yeah. I think as we're
That's
riding
slow.
up, I think Zarya is going to yell over to the others. And she's just going to say, would the fortress give us any advantage or protection?
That's a good thought.
Would it make us a bigger target? Make it come to us?
Potentially.
Yells as we're rushing
I
forward.
mean, can we use it as a shield?
Yeah, you could. Alright. You guys are all in initiative order. Zarya, you shout that out. Harkus, you're up first. The thing is currently it's down a little bit low. It's about 50 feet above ground, breathing fire down upon the buildings. You are mounted on your axe beak. What say you, Harkus?
I'm jumping off of my axe beak.
Okay.
And how far is it? Where?
Don't worry about
How high is it?
It's about 50 feet up. Don't worry about the distance to it because it hasn't noticed you yet. So I'll let you close to whatever distance Harkus feels, whatever the spirits tell you is the right distance to close to,
So
next to a fire-breathing dragon.
Harkus is going to move like right in here and sort of hang out and see if I can sort of tuck back in here, and if he comes this way, I'm basically preparing to jump back on top of him.
Gotcha. So it's not paying attention to you. It's kind of blowing out in like this direction over here as the thing unleashes fire breath in directions that are not angled at you. And if you look at the screen, the effect is really cool.
Yeah, if you can get me on the turn order, just FYI.
Okay, what was your initiative? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what your initiative was?
10.
10? No, you're 16.
Yeah, that's me.
Where are you? You're not even there. I don't even see you.
He deserted us.
You fell off somewhere.
I'm being drugged behind my axe beak through the wood.
That sounds about right.
Oh
Animal
no.
handling.
Oh wait, there you are. There you are. No. You just
Roll20's
unleashed
doing a bunch of weird stuff right now.
Is it? What's it doing for you?
Yeah, I'm seeing like little bursts of fire pop up, and then
Yeah.
squares are showing up around everything, and
I
Oh, I
think
don't
that's intentional for the fire.
The fire was the dragon. I was doing that. That's the dragon's breath weapon, baby.
That's his cool effects.
I don't know about the little squares popping up though.
oh,
All right.
it seems
That's
to
just the
stop.
alcohol.
Maybe I was seeing something I wasn't supposed to. Maybe that's just.
The alcohol.
Harkus, so you run and hide behind a building. It hasn't noticed you. It's breathing fire down upon the people. Are you doing anything else?
I'm basically just running out here and then sort of preparing my wings unfurling.
Okay.
Or when he comes by and I can sort of pounce up on top of it.
Okay. Ordella, you're up.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to ride my axe beak. I guess I can't take the axe beak, can I?
Yeah, you can take it. You don't have control of it, but
yeah.
just put your
I'm gonna ride
character
up.
where you want to go.
Okay. I'm gonna go up closer. Not too close. How far am I from?
However far you want it to be. Currently, you know, you're about 100 feet from it.
Okay, let's see if I can get.
It's a question of how much risk does Ordella want to take.
Okay, so I am going to get my dancing longsword out,
Okay.
and I'm gonna use it.
Okay. Against the dragon, you're flinging it up there.
Mm-hmm.
10 is a miss.
All right, and I'm gonna get a firebolt now.
So, okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you do that.
Because that'd be 2 attacks.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll call you pulling the sword out your first attack.
Yeah.
That hits.
Yes. For 10.
The dragon, as you hit it with firebolt, it sort of snaps its head in your direction and looks at you.
And that's when I die.
Cadillac, you're up.
Okay, so is there a chance that this, because this isn't a proper dragon, right?
No.
Would it be an aberration?
Roll me a Arcana check.
Okay. Ooh, that is not Caddy's strong suit, sadly. We'll see how this goes.
It is a construct.
Okay. So...
It's not an aberration. With a 15, you get it. It is a construct.
Okay. So then I guess I will cast Shield of Faith as a bonus action to buff my AP. And then I am going to... So, do I remember that the previous attack in Goodmead happened overnight?
Yes, the Goodmead attack happened overnight.
Okay, so a dawn has elapsed.
Yes.
Okay.
A dawn has elapsed.
Okay.
You have your Care Bear stare back.
Mm.
I'll remind you that it was not particularly effective.
It was not particularly effective. But booping him on the nose, I'm not sure how effective that's going to be either.
We'll boop him on the snoot and call him a noodle.
Booping him on the snoot. So let's see right quick.
Episode title there. Boop him on the snoot.
So I am going to what is the can I ride and do battle on the axe beak?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I'm going to take myself and the axe beak.
You put your character where you want to be, and I'll move your axe beak.
Yeah. So I think to this house.
Okay. You click
because I
your
want to try to use it for cover.
You click your heels and ride the axe beak over there as quickly as possible, and you do what?
I was.
Essentially, the first turn, I'm saying movement doesn't count.
Yeah.
You can position yourself anywhere you want, but once we've been through initiative once, and you've put yourself where you want to be, then your movement kicks in.
So I have other ranged weapons, but unfortunately, it's still too far away, and I just do not want to close into close quarters with this thing. So I'm going to use.
Your call.
I'm going to use Sunbeam again.
Okay. All right. So you break out Dawn Crusher or whatever, and
yes,
and unleash a Sunbeam spell on it, and it has to make a con save, which with advantage it rolls a 10, so it fails, and it's going to take half of that. 32.
And you said it does not suffer the blinded.
No.
Okay.
It does not suffer the blinded. It takes 16 damage. And it sort of snaps around and looks in your direction and unleashes a roar. Guitarra, you're up.
Actually, we're gonna move over here.
Okay. Click your heels and the axe beak rides you over there as fast as you may. By the way, everybody, as long as you're on an axe beak and mounted, you can ride them the axe beak's movement, which is 50 feet. You can dash on the axe beak for 100. So you can always tell the axe beak to action dash 100. So your movement is essentially 100 feet if you're mounted.
Can you move my axe beak to me since I don't have control on it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Guitarra, what are you doing?
Magic missile.
Okay, magic missiles. It's 18 damage, and the dragon now is actually taking some hits. The local Easthaven guards continue to pummel it with arrows and spears and things. Leonard, you're up.
Okay, Leonard is going to move to, I think, here, if with my axe beak.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw out like a Pokeball my drone.
Okay.
And it's going to spin up to like next to this guy.
Okay, hold on. Let me get your drone out. Flamethrower drone. Where's it going, Leonard?
Like here.
Okay. Up in the air next to it?
Up in the air 15 feet away from the dragon. Or
Okay.
10 feet away from the dragon.
All right.
Okay, I can move it now. All right, perfect. So he's going to go right here. And first, he's going to do his thing.
Now, are you still mounted on your axe beak?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Axe beak is coming with me.
The only one unmounted is Harkus.
Okay. That is drone attack on the dragon.
Okay. It meets.
Okay, so it takes 8 fire damage.
Okay.
And then Leonard is going to. Ooh. I am going to cast Shatter on basically like its heart, its
Okay.
chest.
Concept.
So is
Right.
this inorganic material?
Yes. It
So
fails that con save.
disadvantage.
Yep. And it's
All
gonna
right.
take double. It's gonna take double damage. Yeah, pieces of it, chunks of it, come flying off. It lets out a horrible roar.
Leonard says, "That's for making me lose my horn of blasting."
Zarya, you're up.
Okay, seeing my party scatter all over the map, the only thing I can really do is run straight down the center and hope I'm somewhere in the middle and can maybe triage anybody if they get in trouble. But I'm gonna ride the axe beak.
Okay.
And
You have 100 feet of movement.
yeah,
Basically, you have free movement this round.
for some reason Zarya is seeing like a little lock on her icon, and she can't physically move herself right now. I don't know why.
That's really
There's-
bizarre.
Yeah, it's literally a lock icon on Zarya right now.
Huh. Okay. Let me. I don't know why that would be.
She didn't pay her tickets.
Yep, she got booted.
Didn't pay your taxes.
Yeah. So
I think you can move her now. What was your initiative? Was 3.
3, yeah.
Let me add her back in here. I don't know why. I have no idea why that is.
Okay, well, she's just gonna make herself a target and go straight up with the axe beak. And I'm going to take a cue from Leonard and do the same thing, except for I'm upcasting this at 3rd level. And this would be Shatter, so it would be another Constitution saving throw.
At disadvantage.
Yes, at disadvantage.
Yep, it's disadvantaged. It rolls a 9.
Okay, that's a fail. And Shatter happens to be a thunder damage, which I'm going to now use my Channel Divinity to do max damage at an upcast. So
Nice.
max damage on that is 4d8, so 32 points of thunder damage.
That's how you do D&D right.
Yep, it takes 32 points of damage as you unleash an absolute blast at it. 32. It's its turn. And it stares right at the person that hit it the hardest right in front of it. And it swoops down close to you. I need you to make a wisdom save, please. It gets up in your face.
Okay.
Okay. You pass, so you're not charmed by it, which is a good thing. With disadvantage, how's a 19 doing for you?
That hits.
Okay. That does 40 radiant damage on you. As it unleashes its breath weapon, and 2 of the guards that are right next to you are just absolutely vaporized, and your axe beak is vaporized.
So is there any kind of save for the breath weapon, or was the wisdom
It's a
save something
2-hit.
separate?
No, it's a 2-hit.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You're right. You are correct. I did that wrong. I don't know why it rolled a rolled. It is a save. Make me a dex save.
Not that my dex is very good, but we'll try.
Yeah, you take 40 radiant damage.
Okay. She's still up. She's not looking good, but she's
I
still
don't
up.
think that the axe beak, even if it passes the saving throw, can live. I don't think it has more than 20 hit points. It is not. It has 19 hit points. So even if the axe beak makes the save, your axe beak is dead. Zarya, you look pretty bad.
Rough, yeah.
The dragon uses the remainder of its movement to get back up in the air about whatever its max movement is left, which is going to be... It flew down probably about 30 feet to get on you, so it's going to fly about 60 feet straight up in the air, so it's about 100 feet up in the air.
Okay, were you kidding when you said it was in my face, or do I get an opportunity to attack?
No, it was 30 feet from you.
Got it, okay.
Like, it got close enough to where its malevolent presence had a possible effect 30 feet from you, but not into melee with you.
Okay.
And now it is 100 feet up in the air. Harkus, it's your turn. It never got close enough for you, Harkus, unless you, as a reaction, were going to try to jump on it or something from where you were. I don't know. It
never got close enough. I guess. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot that I can do. So, I'm going to sort of peer out around the side and shoot at it with my laser pistol.
I love it. We have laser pistols.
Yeah, but they're radiant damage, which makes sense, but is kind of a downer since it's resistant.
Yeah, and it's also downer that 15 misses, but multi-attack applies. It's like a bet.
Does 19 hit?
That hits.
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
It is a better crossbow, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you blast because you don't have to reload. There's no reload on it.
And I've ducked back behind the house so he can't really, and I just sort of, so that way he can't see me.
Okay, this is an interesting scene because now we have a dragon made out of mechanical stuff fighting a team with laser pistols.
D&D, man.
Like, what universe is this in? Sorry, I had to move him down to be able to adjust his damage. Ordella, you're up. You're muted, Ordella.
Yes, I know. I was just looking to see what else I have.
Your dancing sword is still out as a bonus action. You can swing it.
How far away am I from him?
Right now, you're probably 100 feet by ground, and it's 100 feet in the air. So whatever, 80 feet on the ground. You have 100 feet speed on your axe beak, so you can close the distance. But he's about 100 feet up in the air.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
So you could get right underneath it.
All right, I'm gonna come over this way, and then I'm going to cast Tasha's Caustic Brew.
Okay.
Okay. That didn't do anything.
Didn't do nothing. The dragon fails it. Takes 2.
2. But let's see. It says 2d4 at the start of each of its turns.
Okay.
Right.
So you've covered it with acid.
Mm-hmm. And then my dancing longsword.
Okay. That's a hit.
Sweet.
Nice. Does 10 damage. Alright, so it's going to take acid damage on each of its turns now until it gets the acid off of itself. Granite Guts, you're up.
How much acid damage? Just 2 each time, or what?
It is a whatever the
or
spell
is it,
says.
Oh, it just does the 1d4 or 2d4.
2d4.
Whatever. 2d4 each time. Okay.
2d4 each time until it gets the acid off of itself, or however long the spell says it lasts for. You're up, Granite Guts.
Okay. I am going to, as a bonus action, activate Branding Smite.
Okay.
Which will get me 2 extra d6 on attacks. And then I am going to... what am I going to do? I think I'm just going to pop out from around this corner of this house and then fire Sunbeam again.
Okay, so it makes a con save. It crit succeeds it. Okay.
And so that was half damage.
It's resistant to radiant damage, so it takes half.
Okay.
Anything else?
And then there's the extra d6 damage. It's radiant too, so that'll only be 3.
Okay. Anything else?
I'm going to duck back around the back of the house.
Yatara, you're up.
Magic missile again from where I am.
Okay. Ooh. As you do that, you notice like one of its, like part of its shoulder just blasts off, and the crystal comes crashing down into the ground.
Nice.
And its arms are slightly less mobile, and it lets out a wail as this crystalline chunk comes falling down onto the ground. Leonard, you and your drone are up. It's 100 feet up in the air. I don't know if the drone has enough movement to get there. The drone is currently 30. Well, I don't know. How high was the drone? I can't remember.
How high was he?
To start with,
Yeah.
probably 100 feet up, a couple hundred feet up.
So the plan was for the drone to be at eye level with it.
Okay, so yeah, the drone is then 100 feet up in the air. It's 100 feet up in the air, so it could probably get to him.
Okay. So we will then attack it again with Droney, McDronerson.
Okay. Okay, it's got to make a dex save. 13.
I believe that fails.
Okay.
Yeah,
Takes
that
5.
fails. So it takes
And-
5 fire damage.
And Leonard.
And then Leonard is going to cast Shatter again.
Oof. It fails that con save.
23 thunder damage.
Oh man, so it takes 46.
Sweet.
One of its legs falls off.
Oh man.
Like it loses its leg. And it flaps its wings. And as Zarya comes up, you see it open its mouth. And it rolled a 5 to recharge its breath weapon. And you can see the radiant like spear lighting up inside of it as it is aiming right down at Zarya's head again with another breath weapon attack ready to go. Zarya, you are up.
This thing looking pretty bad.
One of its legs fell off.
Bad enough.
And its arm, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna rinse and repeat. I'm gonna upcast Shatter once again.
Okay.
The con save.
Okay. No shitting you. I know it's rolling quietly. It rolls a 9. Tell me what cool shit you're gonna say as you cast this spell at it as it's rolling up its breath weapon at you. In fact, as you do this, I also want you to make me a dex save at the same time here.
Yep, fair.
And say what cool shit you're gonna say.
Not today,
Fuck
Satan.
you.
All right, roll me the shatter damage.
The
upcasted shatter damage.
Yeah, I don't wanna. I'm gonna use another channel divinity. I have 4 of them for Wrath of the Storm, which is max damage. So yeah. Also, I think I missed something on the last one.
Just tell me what that damage is. Don't worry about it right now.
No, it is. It's 48, so 32.
All right. With 32 damage, you dive out of the way and scream "F you" and cast the spell. And as it is unleashing another blast of radiant damage, its entire body just explodes. With crystalline shards flying absolutely everywhere as pieces of it come just shattering down. And it doesn't make those sounds anymore. Or the sounds of dragon wings. But you do still hear panicked people screaming and running around town. As now pieces of crystal are falling down all around you. Just out of curiosity, I want to know what its breath weapon attack would have done to you.
It only needed 5.
Well, it would have done 43 radiant damage to you. It would have been enough.
Ooh.
It explodes. Pieces of it are just everywhere now.
And Harkus starts running around trying to pick up the crystal shards.
Yeah, Harkus, you're
Hiding
able.
back tears the entire time.
You're able to gather up several of them, the pieces of crystal. The denizens of Easthaven are panicked. Captain Imdra Algrath, the captain of the guard, looks over at Yuzari and she says, "I don't know who you are, but thank the gods you did what you did. We all surely would have been dead if it weren't for you." She looks around and she says, "I know the rest of you. You're all Toot's crew. But I don't see Toot. I've heard the stories.
Single tear.
Thank you all."
You must be Captain Saltonwound.
Well, I did ask you to help take care of our starving town and missing fishermen. You promised
You were
you'd do
mouse
that.
with speed.
You promised you'd do that and then ran away after
By
beer.
saving the world.
She thanks you. Eventually things sort of calm down a little bit. And the panic subsides. The panic subsides. And everything's sort of being picked up as people are kind of trying to put things back together. It's now cold, and a lot of the buildings in the city are destroyed, and a lot of people are wounded and injured, and there's pieces of this horrible demonic crystal everywhere that Harkus is busily trying to grab as many of as possible. What is everybody doing now?
So
The dragon is destroyed.
Leonard is desperately sifting through the wreckage, looking for like an understanding of how this thing was controlled or operated, or what made it more than just Chardalyn, unwilling to accept that magic is the answer, looking for like, where's the control panel? You know, where are the things that programmed it to do stuff?
Sure. Roll me Arcana.
Arcana.
It's magic.
All right.
Leonard, you as you're sifting through the control crystals that existed inside of this thing's brain, you accidentally step on.
Fair. No, that tracks.
And at this point, I'm just going to give him like a go to hell side eye, like you've just destroyed part of what I was trying to get. Because he's stoked my madness, and
No, that was an inside bit. That's not a
doesn't
hide.
matter. It's all pelt. It's all pelt. I can't differentiate. It's all pelt.
Now you start
The heart-
fighting
the
over
heart
stuff
was
that's
a pelt.
false.
Everything is pelt.
Yeah. You guys, I think, wind up having to eventually make for the night, as it was evening and dark as you arrived in Easthaven, and wind up having to find a place to stay. Do you stay in the fortress, or do you head over to the inn that Toot used to regular? As you are in
there's
Easthaven.
another
The white lady that you've previously stayed in, or do you?
It's got his picture on the wall.
It does.
Oh,
That's two.
now that's salt in the wound.
Yeah. Oh,
Do I see someone who looks like they're in charge here, leading
Yes.
recovery efforts?
Yes. In fact, you recognize a couple of people. You recognize the speaker of Easthaven that previously had told you about their information about Zardoc and his plans. And he thanks you profusely. And you also recognize the Dragonborn speaker of another town that had delivered the information about Zardoc's sons to Easthaven, who are both sort of guiding the recovery effort. Trovus is the Dragonborn speaker of Caer Konig that you'd encountered when you captured one of the sons of Zardoc and had first learned about this terrible plot. So Trovus, the Dragonborn speaker, is assisting Easthaven speaker, whose name immediately escapes me, but I'll have it for you in a moment.
Does Trovus look sober or like super trashed?
The soberest you've ever seen him. In fact, Trovus comes over to you all, along with Easthaven speaker, and together the two of them say to you, they thank you for the salvation of Easthaven. But they both have tremendous worry. And it's Daneth Whalen is the speaker of Easthaven. Tremendous worry. It's in both of their eyes. And Trovus looks over at you all and he says, "It is but another thing. The towns of Dougan's Hole, Good Mead, destroyed. Most of the people killed. A quarter of Easthaven destroyed, and its people killed. Our supplies ruined. Many more are going to starve now." And he looks over at all of you and he says, "This winter must end. We cannot continue to survive this. We're hanging on by a thread. We must find the answer."
So we still don't quite know exactly what is causing the, like, we assume it's like a gigantic weather machine, or maybe
What you see every night is you see what looks like a spell cast across the skies every night in the form of an aurora that never ends. And people blame that on a spell that the Frostmaiden is casting. You'd had an insight previously through a device that a gnomish inventor had invented, something that he called the Summer Star, that there is a machine that could potentially end the winter, or some sort of device of that nature, but it would need a lot more power to be able to do so. You expended all the uses of the Summer Star that you found inside of that black cabin. But you had, in particularly Granite Guts, had the insight that perhaps something like this could be used to destroy things. In your visions that you had in the mirror, you learned about ancient civilizations that had their remnants here.
We learned about the city under the ice that the barbarians knew the way into, but we found maybe a tower that started into that. Maybe
one of the people in town told you about the location of a buried tower that may be part of the of some buried citadel, and you had learned in visions about such a thing. So that's what you know.
And then we had visions also of a skull-shaped island.
Yes, of a skull-shaped island, and you saw a owl bear covered in snow that had bright, piercing blue eyes, and then visions of a woman. That, in fact, the same woman that Yatara has previously had visions of. Albeit,
like the ghost woman.
Albeit hasn't had those visions in a while.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about all that in the haste of sorting out the dragon stuff and chasing down laser pistols. I forgot that there was other stuff we were doing. So I guess the question is what and where now?
While we debate that, I go up to Lord Wayland and I say,
Please, it's not Lord, Speaker
Wayland, my apologies.
We have no lords here.
We arrived in time to drive the dragon off from Dougan's hole, and it is not a complete loss, but unfortunately, Good Mead is shattered, worse than your city, much worse. I would like to ask you to send what a portion of what meager supplies you have to Good Mead, to their assistance, because they did not weather this storm as well as you did.
Of course. And I will travel to Bryn Shander to gather as many supplies as Bryn Shander can offer to both Good Mead and Dougan's Hole, to the survivors there. But he looks at you and he says, I feel you all have stopped this evil Dwergar machinations about destroying our world and conquering us all, but at great loss. We cannot take this winter much longer. I fear and I feel that you all are the only ones that may be able to stop it. We must end the winter. We must stop this.
Somewhere.
He says.
Sounds good to me.
I make for Bryn Shander. My men will head towards Dougan's Hole and Good Mead, and I make for Bryn Shander to gather our resources. I think that the people of Good Mead and Dougan's Hole should make for Bryn Shander. There's no safety in those places now. They'll be overrun by wolves and yeti and other such. My men will help get them to the walls of Bryn Shander where they can be safe. We need to gather our people in the safe places that we have left in this world. But we are losing cities. I fear we will not stand much longer. What does the party want to do?
Do we go to Bryn Shander with the rest of the refugees?
Or do you look for an answer?
Okay, so I'm just going through my notes from the visions to be sure we checked off a bunch of that stuff. And we mostly have, except the Skull Island, the Owlbear Woman. There was a magical tome And then there was the owlbear creature. There was another person who initially you had described as an albino tiefling associated with a rocket-cased tomb.
I had the wrong person for you.
But that changed, and I didn't update.
Yeah, who you saw was an old woman who sort of was able to pierce through your eyes. I can give you a better description if you want.
No, but she was a person that we are not familiar with,
right,
but that was in response to the question of who's someone that can help us.
Yes. What you saw was an old woman with an eye patch on one eye and a white owl sitting on her shoulder. Her one eye was sort of piercing and looking at you. I had described the wrong character to you when I described the albino.
I remember
so that was just my fault. An old woman with an eye patch over one eye and a white owl sitting on her shoulder. In one
you
of the
describe
visions.
her to Zarya?
Yeah.
Yeah, while we're sorting all this out, Leonard is pouring through his drawings of these visions.
And of course, what you learned about was when told about like the red wizard that was burned to death. You remember in Easthaven at the beginning, there was a red wizard that was burned to death, and he had killed people to keep their silence. But one of the people in the bar in Caer Dinival, I think, told you his cousin knew what he was up to and had told him the secret, and that he had found a tower underneath the snow of some sort of ancient civilization, and he knew where it was, and even pointed it out on your map.
So the other notes, the Skull Island and the owlbear person were in response to I can't remember how I phrased the question. Something about weaknesses of sort of what we're up against.
Yeah.
Or vulnerabilities or something. And that was the Skull Island, the owlbear person,
and a tome.
And the tome.
Yeah.
Being from this area, would I recognize any of this or be at all privy to this, or is this all news to me?
It's all news to you. Unless you've traveled far and wide through this northern zones. Like, how far have you traveled?
I mean, probably not extensively, no.
Then it's all news to you, and you don't recognize this description of this woman.
Okay.
So the only clear lead we have, the only thing we know that is next to do is we know where the tower that's part of the underground ruins, or at least similar to the underground ruins is.
I will point out that some people claimed that it was the Dark Wizard's doing, and the leader of the Dark Wizards that is locked up in that great prison, surely he is behind it.
Oh, Revel's End.
Somebody mentioned that to you as well.
Yeah, I forgot about. I remembered that when I was watching the D&D movie, and I was like, yes. Oh yeah, we got a guy there.
Because Jarnathan is there. Yeah. So yeah, that's what you know. That's the recap of everything that you're aware of.
So the way Leonard sees it, our choices are to just dive into the underground and try to put an end to this, which sounds risky and bad, or to see if perhaps the guy in Revel's End can shed some light on how much he's responsible for and what we can end, like what's fixable, or try to figure out where the Skull Island is or who the owlbear is or something like that.
So basically it's explore the spire of the tower that is of some mysterious lost civilization that might hold a power similar to Macradius's Sunstar invention or whatever it was called, Morningstar, or see what it's not the Frostmaiden, it's the Dark Wizards. Find the leader of the Dark Wizards locked up in Revel's End. or search for a mysterious Skull Island. I guess ask the fishermen if they've seen anything like that. Head up to the northern cities and see if you can charter a boat, and does anybody know where this is, and just search for it or something.
I would be in favor of going for the spire because it seems like that's probably the most suspicious thing, right? Because wasn't the mage burned in Easthaven because he found the spire?
He was burned in Easthaven because he killed some people, and
But he killed the people because they were helping excavate the spire.
Right. Yep.
You learned, that he had secretly murdered these people, basically for their silence about the location of this thing. Is the rumors that you had learned?
Yeah, that's our only definite piece of information that we know is going to lead, or at least is tied to something that we know is going on. Because we know that and I'll fill Zarya in on this too, that the source of the eternal winter is deep in the ancient city underneath the Reged Glacier, and it's like a pulsating crystal thingy.
You did have a vision of a pulsating orb of some sort deep in some sort of lost city beneath the snow.
And I think that was in response to the question of what's causing the winter or something.
Not exactly. I can tell you exactly what it was. I still have this list of questions you asked sitting here. One moment.
See, what I'm learning in this moment is that I should have kept better notes, because all I have is campaign notes. Underground City, winter, question mark?
Okay, hang on. Let's see here. Here we go. This is in response to the question of how do we end the winter? This says, you see the glacier split and crack, and you find yourself falling through the glacier, deep, deep, deep under the ice, through tunnels, and then you see it. Something you've never seen before. There are spires made out of strange metals and strange amalgams, some with intelligent design, like some crazy civilization you've never encountered before that seems to be deep at the center. And deep, deep below, there is a pulsating, luminous, glowing crystal sphere on an ornate stand that pulses with a bright light. And then you're back before the mirror. In response to the question of how do we end the winter?
Okay. So I think, I think Yatara's thought about maybe we go to the thing that we definitely know has something to do with this. What does everybody else think? My goal was to just recap the information so that other people would make decisions.
Yeah, and I'm trying to provide you the most accurate information about things that you know.
Much appreciated.
I don't think it's fun to play the game of ha ha ha, you should have taken better notes. I'm not trying to hide any information that you have acquired. I think the ha 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 should have taken better notes, you don't remember it, is a dumb way to play. As the team ponders this, we'll have our decision when we return next week.
Well, at level 7.
At level 7.
Sweet. That will really help me make up my mind with the boost that a level 7 level up will afford me.
As Zarya's, her favorite wizard swear was apparently F you.
It was super effective.
We're gonna have to put a YouTube MA on this episode.
There's a really funny bit from the McElroy brothers that is not for children, but it was a Yahoo Answers, and the question was, what are your favorite wizard swears? And they said, I don't know, I think my favorite wizard swear is just F.
Hey, it power word kill. It worked. He said it, or Zaharia said it.
Yeah, you basically power word killed the dragon.
And the dragon died. It's as simple as that.
So just for my preparation, since there's so many ways you wind up going, I need to know kind of where you guys are headed next week,
Okay,
so that it's not just a traveling episode.
I vote for the Tower of Power.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward the tower. Like, I could be again. Side quests are my thing. I can be convinced to go anywhere. If people are like, hey, we need to go to Revel's End to see if this dark wizard god knows some stuff and is behind the winter, sure, I'm there. But I think the tower is the definite lead. So logically, I would want to go there.
So you're in Easthaven now. Circled on this map with this diamond is where the guy in the bar told you his cousin that was helping that red wizard has where that spire was located at. He knew where it was, and it is there. Fastest way would be to make across the wilderness on the eastern side of Lekdensmere. It's about 17 miles from Easthaven. You could always go around the opposite side of the lake through Carrickhonig and then cross over the Lake Black.
We could go on Axebeak.
You still have Axebeak, so you could ride Axebeak through the wilderness.
Well, we have N-1 Axebeaks, right?
Yeah, you did have one Axebeak that got vaporized. You could buy an Axebeak. They sell them. All right.
While we're fading into oblivion for the week, I'm gonna have my flamethrower bot go around and, like, I don't know, warm people up.
Yep. As you're caring for the poor wounded, and everyone is gathering around and making plans. You decide the cold of this winter cannot go on. The people of the Icewind Dale cannot survive much longer like this. Cities destroyed, loss of life, people having to huddle in the large towns to be able to survive. It must come to an end. You've learned that there is some sort of ancient civilization that may hold the power to end this all, and you've learned the secret location of a spire of what may be related to this thing. The party decides to head out across the wilderness from Easthaven towards the mysterious spire that has been identified in the tundra. And we will see you next week as you head out across the wilderness towards this mysterious spire at level 7.
Yay.
Thank you for playing, everybody. I hope you guys had a good time. You killed a dragon.
Yes!
With style.
With style. Great session. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Night.
Everyone.